A community group says the Christchurch City Council's flawed flood modelling has been flawed, and some homes have been either rebuilt or in the process of being rebuilt almost 50 centimetres lower than they should be. Empower Christchurch, a group set up to help homeowners get fair insurance settlements, so the full extent of the problem has not been determined. It says the council held an urgent meeting last Tuesday, giving the group an assurance it would revise its flood modelling. 79-year-old Jeanette Brown is one of the affected residents. Her house has been rebuilt 50 centimetres lower than it should have been in the area it's in. She only moved back into her new house 4 months ago. Yes, new house after the earthquake. I spoke to her this afternoon with her advocate from Empower Christchurch, Seamus O'Cronta. I asked Seamus how he found out about this situation.
The surveyor that worked on my house was also working on a property in South Shore, and he noticed there was a 44 centimetre difference between the flood planning that council applied in Rocking Horse Road in South Shore and at my place. So he contacted the council and asked for an explanation, and they arranged a very hurried meeting with us the Tuesday after Anzac holiday and explained that they had assumed that a tidal flood bank would be built along Bridge Street halfway down the peninsula here. So they had applied different flood levels for the southern part of the suburb as they did for the northern part of the suburb.
And has that been
Which
built?
We were quite
has that flood prevention bank been built?
We have no evidence that it was even considered building. It hasn't been built. You know.
It hasn't been repaired either.
Well, that's another.
Yeah.
There's a stop bank further north which hasn't been repaired, and we've been asking council what they're planning to do about it for years. But we still have had no information that they intend to repair it or rebuild it or provide people with protection against flooding.
So, Seamus, I want to clarify,
so
had
really
you not had
bizarre.
a builder that was working somewhere else who observed that you were 44 centimetres lower than the other place he was at, you and the Christchurch City Council would have had no idea about this?
I don't know how much idea Christchurch City Council had, but I certainly would have had no idea. I just find it difficult to believe that rebuilds and PIMs and consents for building have been issued for the last 4 or 5 years without Christchurch City Council knowing in full about this situation.
That you are too low and that means you are going to be flood prone. Is it that simple?
That's the simplicity of it. That's why I blocked a rebuild, but the lady I'm with here, she wasn't informed that her insurance company would use existing use rights and continue with the build. So she's ended up with a property that is, half a metre lower than it should be to provide protection against flooding.
So that property has been rebuilt, Seamus, and signed off on, and that is now complete and ready to go, but it is roughly half a metre too low, which means that it will flood disproportionately often. Absolutely.
On the other side of the road here, we have a house where we have groundwater going round the surface of the house like a moat. This has been ignored by everybody. So we have the flooding risk in conjunction with the high groundwater risk. It's making very, very difficult to see what's going to happen here.
What discussions have you had with the council?
We had an emergency meeting with them on the Tuesday after Anzac Day, and we asked them to explain how this had happened and why they had used incorrect flood modelling. And we were told that this was not incorrect. This was merely an assumption which they had revised. A solution has to be found. People have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars of their equity as a result of this situation, and we're just waiting to hear what kind of solution they propose to recompense them.
Seamus,
the situation goes on because we still...
Sorry. Seamus,
yes,
would
John?
you mind asking Jeanette what she's going to do? Because she's got a new home there, but it's flood prone. And would you mind just pretending you're interviewing her and put the mic across to her when you ask?
Sure, yeah. Jeanette, you've been here for how long?
Nearly 4 months now.
And you were never happy with the situation to start with, were you?
No, I was never happy. I did argue the point, but I gave up. I gave up. I couldn't afford lawyers to fight for me, so I gave up.
And what do you think what are your plans for the future? What would you like to do?
Well, what I would like to do, I would like to sell my property at my age and go into a retirement complex, and I can't sell it the way it is. I've lost equity in it. I won't have sufficient funds to even go somewhere else.
So that was Jeanette talking to Seamus at the end of that interview. So in short, Jeanette has had a rebuild. Her house is 50 centimetres too low. It makes it disproportionately likely to be affected by flooding in that area. We asked Christchurch City Council for an interview and sent us a statement saying it has now revised its flood modelling for floor levels in a small area of New Brighton. It says the previous modelling did not fully account for the effect of tidal flooding in the lower reaches of the Avon in that small area as a result of future predicted sea level rise over the next 50 years. General Manager Consenting and Compliance Peter Sparrow says the council has ordered surveys of 5 properties that may be affected by change in assumptions to ascertain any floor level issues specific to each site. Mr Sparrow says the council has also advised insurers to use the updated information for any assessment or building work in this area. And Empower Christchurch told us a short time ago it believes many more than 5 homeowners are affected across Christchurch, and it's holding a residents' meeting tomorrow night. We are going to keep an eye on this issue.